There's a really important story out there that is not being covered. It's not being covered on even Fox News or Fox Business News. It is a story of massive witness tampering. It is a story about a witness, Leland Kaiser, one of the reportedly best friends of Dr. Baldy Ford. Leland Kaiser says that she was bullied by another friend of Ford's and a former FBI agent herself, Monica McLean. She was bullied. She was told, she was asked to change her story and say that she was in the room with Baldy Ford when Kavanaugh, well, she was at the event when Kavanaugh supposedly did the dirty against Dr. Ford. She has maintained from the get-go that she doesn't know what Dr. Ford's talking about. She wasn't there. None of the four witnesses that Dr. Ford says were there say they were. Monica McLean, a former FBI agent and former friend of Baldy Ford, and it was at McLean's house in Delaware where Baldy Ford wrote the letter to Feinstein. Did you know that? Yes, Baldy Ford was in Delaware with Monica McLean, and some are suggesting, I don't know if it's true, that actually Monica McLean might have written the letter. But at least that there was a collaboration, a letter that was sent to Feinstein. You would think this story would be all over the place. You would think that it would have been mentioned on the Senate floor today when they took the procedural vote. But this is a pretty big story that Baldy Ford's FBI friend Monica McLean was pressuring Leland Kaiser to modify her testimony and statement so as to say that she, oh, you know what, I just remembered, I was there. I remembered that Kavanaugh was, I remembered. That's what they wanted her to do. You thought it was kind of dubious. You thought it might have been a little sketchy that Baldy Ford's best friend is a retired FBI agent. We mentioned this to you earlier this week. A former DOJ official may have ties to the FBI's attempt to run that coup on Trump. Her name is Monica McLean again. And they were together on July 30th when Ford was writing the letter to Feinstein. They were in Delaware at McLean's house. And Leland Kaiser is an ex-wife of Bob Beckel, a former Democrat political operative, Fox News commentator, and CNN commentator. They wanted her, they pressured her to revisit her statement. The Wall Street Journal had the story, or has the story today. This is witness tampering. This is asking a witness to lie so as to buttress the story told by Dr. Baldy Ford. And the pressure came from a former FBI agent, again, who's one of the beach buddies of Dr. Ford's. If this isn't witness tampering, then somebody needs to tell me what it is. Charles Grassley was on Fox. But Grassley, as I mentioned at the end of yesterday's program, Grassley has been on fire. Something has really set him off. I would think that it would have happened years and years and years ago, but whatever, something has really set him off now.
To do when we get all done, because this is almost rock bottom. I would like to have the future mending things so we can do things in a collegial way that the United States Senate ought to do, and particularly when it comes to Supreme Court nominations. And you folks can have something to do with this. Now, I would never use the word fake news. I consider you folks policemen for our democratic system of government. But I want to show you where some of you have bias. I've had demonstrators in my office for 2 weeks now, both for Kavanaugh and against Kavanaugh. And one time, the people that were for Kavanaugh wanted to be interviewed. And they said, we're only interested in interviewing people against Kavanaugh. Now, that's a bias that none of you should be proud of.
He's going after the press, accusing them face-to-face of outright bias. He's accusing the Democrats of being insincere. doing great harm to the Senate. One of Grassley's points is, and John Cornyn too, if we're going to get rid of somebody on the basis of an allegation with no proof, what are we doing for every future nominee that comes before this committee? If the new standard is that all a nominee has to be is accused of something and that kills the nomination, then where are we headed? We're headed exactly where the Democrats want. Just to refresh your memory, Balsy Ford and Leland Kaiser were close. I mean, some say best friends at the time of the alleged attack by Kavanaugh. When Kaiser's denial was brought up during the hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee, Balsy Ford attempted to discredit her by saying that, well, she's got health problems. She had problems. I don't know, but she was not well. I felt really bad for her. Turns out that Leland Kaiser is a former pro golfer. She does have back and neck problems, but not mental health issues. Monica McLean, again, Balsy Ford's lifelong best friend, and the woman Balsy Ford allegedly coached prior to taking a polygraph test. This Monica McLean is all over this story. We've only learned her name in the past week or so. And according to reports, Monica McLean was at Balsy Ford's side in the hearing room before she testified. She was. I have now seen photos. Anyway, Grassley said on Fox and Friends this morning that there is evidence in the FBI report that other witnesses were leaned on by allies of Balsy Ford as well, not just Leland Kaiser.
Right, Senator, Chairman. We understand that Leland Kaiser, the former friend of Dr. Ford, felt pressure to revisit her denial and of knowing about the alleged assault back in 10th grade. How do you feel about her saying that she feels pressured by Democrats to change her story?
There is evidence, I can't speak about it because it's in the FBI report, but there's evidence about other people that have been questioned that they were led into it as well. So this is another example of headquarters for the resistance being right here on Capitol Hill.
And you do believe that there's a problem with the Dr. Ford's collaboration with the Democratic Party? What paperwork do you want to see that you haven't seen yet? What do you need to see in terms of their communication?
Polygraph, other things that she talked about to the Washington Post. If she can talk to the Washington Post about it, she ought to talk to us.
Other witnesses were leaned on. That means every senator has seen that. Every senator that's read the report has seen this.
We've got to do a better job of getting across that America is freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion,